Hey, good morning. Welcome to the fifth day of Customer Service Week. So far, we've covered the H, the E, and the R. But we can't just leave it at her. We have to go all the way and add in the O to make a complete hero framework. And what is O in this? If you remember from the beginning, it's ownership. That's right, ownership. And if you've ever read the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, you have an idea of what we're going to talk about today. So, ownership is not just a word. It is a mindset. It's a commitment that defines who we are at Rooter Hero Plumbing and Air. Ownership means taking responsibility, not just for our successes, but for any mistakes or issues that may arise and making it right quickly. In this company, in this industry, in our lives, there's no room for passing the buck. When a customer calls us, they expect results, and they expect them fast. But here's the secret. When we take ownership of the situation, when we embrace responsibility, we have the power to turn even the toughest challenges into opportunities for greatness. In this world, mistakes happen, problems arise. It's the nature of the game. But how we respond to those challenges is what sets us apart. It's what transforms an unhappy customer into a loyal advocate. When a customer complains, it is not enough to resolve the complaint. We have to restore that customer's confidence in the brand. Taking ownership is part of that. Ownership isn't just about saying, I messed up. It's about taking action to make things right and doing it with a sense of urgency. It's about admitting when we've fallen short and then going above and beyond to fix it. When we take ownership, we're not just solving problems, we're building trust. We're showing our customers that we care, that we're here for them, and that we're willing to do whatever it takes to make it right. Here's what taking ownership looks like in action. It's admitting mistakes honestly and transparently. It's immediately working on solutions instead of finger pointing. It's following up to ensure the customer is satisfied with the resolution and that they'd use us again. It's about not just meeting expectations, but exceeding them. There we go, tying it back into the E portion. So, here's my challenge to every person in the organization. How can you embrace ownership in your role? How can you take responsibility for any issue that may arise and make it right quickly? How can you turn challenges into opportunities for customer loyalty? To help illustrate the point, I'm going to pass the baton over to my good friend James Dodkins, who coincidentally owes me a beer. So,
I think we need to think a little bit more like this in business. Now, to help us think about this in a different way, I'm going to tell you a little story now about beer. So, imagine you are in a bar and you're walking through the bar and somebody's holding 4 beers and you bump into them and they spill the beers. There are 4 ways in which you can go about reacting to that situation. Number 1, you go and hope they don't come after you. And most of the time they won't come after you and you're here in the corner going, I got away with it. Problem is, that person's now telling everyone else in the bar what a jerk you are. Remember that first impression stuff from earlier? Number 2, you run away, but they do come after you and they tap you on the shoulder and you turn around and go, Actually, when you entered the bar, you agreed to a set of terms and conditions whereby if the bar was over an 80% occupancy, beer spillage was a possibility, and either way, you were carrying over the recommended load limit of 2 beers at 4 beers, so any drink replacement liability falls on your shoulders. Thank you, bye. Now he really thinks you're a jerk and might threaten to punch you in the face. Number 3, after he's threatened to punch you in the face, you go, okay, sorry, I'll replace the beers begrudgingly. That's kind of what we do most often in business. You know, customers will complain and then we'll begrudgingly put it right. They still think you're jerks. Or number 4, which is the way we would most likely act in real life, but least likely act in business, we would immediately turn around, apologise, and replace the beers without them having to ask. Okay? So here's a handy little framework that you can think of to start doing this in your business. Identify, monitor, communicate, compensate. Identify the things in your experience that cause dissatisfaction. You probably have already got this data. Monitor the experience in the experience to notice when these things happen. When you notice one of these things has happened, communicate to the customer that you know something has gone wrong. Don't wait for the complaint. And then put it right. Compensate in some way. And it doesn't have to be a monetary compensation, but some sort of gesture goes a long way towards changing how a customer feels about what has happened. Now look, if you only take one thing away from this talk, it should be this. Only 4% of dissatisfied customers will complain. The rest will vote with their feet. So if you are only putting problems right for that 4%, you are missing a massive opportunity. We should be working to be far more proactive when it comes to this. So my recommendation here is don't wait for the complaint. Fix the experience in the experience.
There we go. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. So, in the plumbing and HVAC service and repair industry at Rooter Hero Plumbing and Air, in particular, ownership isn't just a responsibility. It's a superpower. It's how we transform setbacks into comebacks, problems into solutions, and dissatisfied customers into our biggest fans. So, with that said, thank you for listening. Now, let's go out there, take ownership of our actions, and make Rooter Hero Plumbing and Air the epitome of accountability and customer satisfaction in the industry, in the world. It's your time to shine. Now go out there, heroes, and embrace ownership and the entire Hero CX framework in every interaction. Happy Customer Service Week.